Bicky had always known what his life was. A cycle of violence. A game of survival. A world where love was a weakness, and attachments got you killed. And yet, he lingered. Sue never asked him to stay. Never expected him to be there. But somehow, she always left the door open. A quiet understanding. An unspoken invitation. He told himself it was for the baby. That was the excuse, the lie he let himself believe. But the truth was crueler. He wanted to be here. With them. The life he could have had, the one that had been ripped from his hands all those years ago, was right in front of him. But it wasn't his to keep. And that was the cruelest part. Sue knew Bicky was waiting for something. He never said it outright, but it was there, in the way he tensed when the doorbell rang. The way his eyes swept over the street before stepping inside. The way he never truly relaxed, even when he held her daughter like she was the most fragile thing in the world. He was waiting for it all to end. For the past to catch up. And Sue didn't know if she was ready for that. She didn't know when it had started, this quiet dependency, this pull toward a man she had every reason to hate. But she didn't hate him. And that terrified her. Because Bicky didn't belong here. He wasn't made for lullabies and quiet mornings. He was steel and fire, a man with blood on his hands and ghosts in his eyes. A man who had already decided he couldn't stay. Bicky never let himself imagine a future. But some nights, when Sue fell asleep on the couch with the baby in her arms, he let his mind betray him. He let himself think about what it would be like if things were different. If he could stay. If he could be more than the man people feared. If Sue could look at him and see something other than a monster trying to atone for sins too great to erase. But those thoughts were dangerous. Because he knew the truth. If he did what needed to be done, if he disbanded the gang, if he burned down the empire he had built, he wouldn't be able to protect them. The people he had tried to save, the ones who had nowhere else to go, would be left exposed. They would be hunted, used, discarded. And Paul would never let it go. Bicky had spent his life making enemies. And he was about to make a hell of a lot more. There was no way to do this clean. If he walked away, he had to walk away from all of it. From them. From her. And that was the part that hurt the most. Not the fights ahead. Not the blood that would spill. But the simple, crushing fact that for the first time in his life, he wanted to stay. And he couldn't. The storm was coming. Paul was out there, waiting, gathering strength. Bicky could feel it, a shadow at the edge of everything. Time was running out. But for now, just for a moment, he let himself have this. The sound of Sue's breathing as she slept. The weight of the baby in his arms. The warmth of something he had never truly known. A glimpse of the life he would never have. And then, just like everything else in his world, he would have to let it go.